You are listening to
Marty and the Breaux.
we're getting a little up in time, but I wanted to get the chance to ask you about. I know that African American is the way that many many in the media have been trained to refer to Black people in America, African Americans, and you were like, you and I in our conversations, you're like, well, wait a minute. I ain't never been to Africa in my life.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
Yeah, I don't like being called
talk,
African
just
American.
bring that out in the open. Yeah.
All right, we about to get into conspiracy theory too a little bit. We're gonna drop into it. So first of all, yeah, I don't like being called African American, and the simple fact is, it feels like bullshit. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I ain't never been to Africa, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing. I unfortunately, and I'm not saying I love Africa, the idea of Africa, you know, my Black brothers and sisters in Africa, but how am I gonna claim a place I ain't never been? Like, you know, where I'm from, we claim I'm from Southwest Houston. You know why? Because that's where I grew up. You know what I'm saying? That's where I was at. That's where I got bulk of my, you know what I'm saying, my learning, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, a lot of the shit I learned is, you know what I'm saying, how terrible white people be, right? You know what I'm saying? But all that game I learned came here in America. You know what I'm saying? I'm an American,
Right.
goddammit. I am. Sorry, you know what I'm saying? Am I proud? Not really. I don't know. But, you know, it is what it is, right? You know what I'm saying? I ain't never fucking been to Africa. How you gonna call me African? Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't, what about a Black person from Africa that now moves to America? They're also an African American, but they actually African though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, they're not. They're just, you know, if you got to put if you have to tack someone onto it, you call me a Black American, whatever, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? A nigga, I'm cool with that too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not African American, because Africans that move here and then actually get citizenship here are African Americans. How is that even hard to understand, right?
Yeah.
And also,
and nobody's calling me a European American or anything.
None of that. None of that. That never happens. Does not happen with white people. You know what I'm saying?
They would call me white. They would say, yeah, he's white.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter.
If I'm white, yeah, you could be Black. That's
man. And I think, see, this is it's not just that, right? I think this is where the conspiracy comes in for me, right? Because I'm wondering, why is it though? Why are we called African Americans? You know what I'm saying? Was it really just Black people lobbying for something more right? You know what I'm saying? Because like colored and Negro and shit, I don't think it's, you know, it's like, okay, I don't know. For me, I don't give a fuck about, you know what I'm saying? Like I tell you, I don't even care about being called nigga. Where's my money, son? You know what I'm saying? You can call me Freddie. I don't give a fuck what you call me, bro. Where's our money, bro? We need reparations, right? You know what I'm saying? Call me whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Let's sit down and talk.
What I heard somebody say one time, I don't care what you call me, I care how you treat me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I don't care about none of that stuff you're talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, exactly. You know, but I think it is, and this is some crazy shit here, right? You know what I'm saying? We're about to get off into the weeds, right? So I think that it must be something like, what if we're considered African Americans? That way, you know, saying there's like some legal loophole type shit, you know, saying that we're not necessarily Americans, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're not entitled to. So what I mean by that is like, so for example, I've been thinking about the idea of, you know, the fact that in the hip hop community, or so most music, right? You know what I'm saying? At least when it comes to our culture, Black music. Now, I'm not talking about all music, just our music. You know what I'm saying? We know that when our music was created, especially really, you know, classic stuff, there's no question that there was, you know, mechanisms in place to separate Black people for Black people not to be able to accumulate wealth and actually make money and profit off of their creations, right? We know this for a fact, right? You know what I'm saying? So why the hell hasn't, you know, these situations been rectified? You know what I'm saying? I think the reason is, you know,
and just to be clear, you're referring to like the record industry,
industry. Yeah, that's just an example.
Owned by those at the top of those record production companies. There's white CEOs and white everybody.
Exactly. And you know, you can think of that the same way with every other industry. There's, you know, it's the same story. You know, if we made contributions to an industry, there were white people who didn't allow us to, you know, to actually, you know, create generational wealth for our, you know, kids and actually have wealth, right? You know what I'm saying? We weren't allowed for that, right? You know what I'm saying? I think I think it's possible that there's, saying there's some real slick shit white people have done with the, saying with the way they've worded certain things to where it's like, well, that's just not, because we're African Americans. You get what I'm saying? Like, we're not really there, saying there's some kind of like, well, they can skirt that line and be like, no, we don't have to do this for these people because they're not true, they're not Americans, they're African Americans. You get what I'm saying? Like,
so you're saying it's a setup.
Yeah, this is some conspiracy theory shit. Yeah, this is now, like I said, it's all conspiracy theory for me, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more than likely wrong, right? I understand that, but it's more so, it's really more of a thought experiment where I want people to do. Because like, I've been thinking about like, the idea of, all right, what kind of class action lawsuits can be done against, like, because for example, like I've told you, if you notice, like, communities have specific, areas where they kind of fall into, right? So for example, if you look at law enforcement, it's mostly white people. If you ask yourself why that is, saying if you go back far enough and you can see law enforcement, the inception of it was with the slave brigade or the slave brigades. They would round up slaves, mostly white people. Right. So, those people, the people who were police officers back then, their kids, slave patrols, they had kids, their kids became slave patrol, their kids, their kids. You see how it makes sense that policing would be more of a white profession. You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense, right? You know what I'm saying? You'd have to really try hard and like insert other races into that. And like, you'd have to make a conscious effort to change that because of the inception, right? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Same thing with, if you think about, saying like, I'm not even trying to be, it's not even about being racist. It's Hispanic people in certain industries too, whether it be like, landscaping or something, right? You know what I'm saying? If the dad did this, his son did it, and his uncle did it, and then their kids, and this is what is passed down here, you get what I'm saying? It's more about like what's being done. So for Black people, what is that? The entertainment industry, music, right? You know what I'm saying? We've been, I love my baby, right? You know what I'm saying? We've been entertaining forever. No, just think about it though, seriously, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, passed down. Now we're here, you know what I'm saying? So we know that this, you know what I'm saying, that's really the only true lane we have to our culture, you know what I'm saying, as Black people to really, you know what I'm saying, get out of the struggle is entertaining. And you could even put sports in that. That's entertainment too. Entertainment is the only thing that is allowed by our culture, by society. Society says Black people, what you can do is entertain us. You can't do a bitch ass thing else. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's basically what society, that's why there's so many things set up in place to stop Black people from doing other things, right? There's so many, systems in place to stop it, So I think that's one of those things where, if Black people were to get, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it would. No, it makes sense. And the thing I was thinking about how the Indians that own the convenience stores quite frequently.
But exactly.
The way that starts is that somebody comes to America and they open up a convenience store and they realize, hey, this is going pretty well. This is going to help me feed my family. And so they call their uncle or their cousin and they're like, hey, you should come over here and get a convenience store. It's a good way to make money. So the cousin comes over and then the cousin brings his family and it makes sense. Next thing you know, and there's many industries that work the same way. The Asians that opened up a lot of cleaners, dry cleaners.
Exactly.
The nails that it's all.
So the difference between exactly. So the difference between their communities and the Black community is they were allowed to keep their wealth accumulated within their community and then, slowly build out like a Chinatown or like, little Mexicos or, they're able to, sustain their community and build it out. So Black people, on the other hand, there is a unique eye on us, when it comes to society, white people, everybody, there's a unique, it's like Tulsa, when they, Black Wall Street and they massacred, anytime we start to build something, they're like, that cannot be allowed to grow. We have to tear that down. Right. And it's all, it's, in my opinion, it's all linked to eugenics, what's it called? Eugenics. I think at the core of all white supremacy is just the fact that, some weird shit about y'all being terrified about, disappearing off the face of the planet because you're white. White people weird, by the way. But yeah, man. So, at the core of it, that's what it is. Right. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's what white supremacy, it's fear, it's a lot of things.
That's all it is. It's like, it's white people realizing deep down that Black people are super dope, and it's like, if we let if we give these niggas an inch. You know what I'm saying? We done, you know, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna listen to us no more, you know. Nobody gonna want to talk to me no more. You know, that's why people realize, you know. I'm sorry you feel that way. You know?
Yeah, there's an element of it that if Black people have power, they're going to do to us what we've been doing to them for all these years, and we don't want any part of that. We'll dish it out.
Can't take it. Yeah,
we can't. We don't want to even risk for 1% chance that we're going to be victims of rules designed to keep us down. But we'll perpetrate that on others all day long.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Yeah, white people terrible. But yeah, no. So I think it's really interesting, man. You're one of the few good ones, man. You're one of the good ones.
I am. That has a whole new meaning, doesn't it?
Right? It's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Well, I don't know. That's a subject that we'll hopefully get into in a later episode, I think, because I think that there's more. I don't know for sure, but I think there's more white people that want to do the right things, and they want to get past this huge hurdle of white supremacy / racism that exists in this country, but something's holding them back.
Yo, you like what you just saw? Make sure you like, share, subscribe so the algorithms can algorithm or whatever sorcery they do. Follow us on our socials, links all down in the description, and let's keep rocking.